So this is Sixers Universe. My name is LeQuan, and I'm going to be coming to you with a whole bunch of Sixer content, really for as long as this channel goes, for years. It could be a YouTube career thing. It could not be. I don't know. Right now, at the very beginning, it's really just as a fan coming from other fans on what I think about this great franchise and this great city. So I was born and raised in Philadelphia. For 24 to 28 years I've been alive. Last 4 years I've been living in Michigan, but things happened and then I ended up moving back here to Philly. It's been great, but I'm still, in the works of it. So technically, I'm going to be actually taking this laptop of mine and moving to the kitchen, and where there's actually a table that I could put this on and, just be real comfortable about it. So really, this was mostly meant to be an introductory video on me, what you can expect from me. I'm going to be buying Synergy, which gives you like clips of videos and data. I'll be buying the NBA package, and then I'll be buying the NCAA package, so that, I'll be posting draft videos because the draft is going to be coming up, and I really feel like the Sixers need to hit the draft. As a matter of fact, why don't we touch on that subject right now a little bit? I don't have the clips and anything, but I can give my clarity on my ideas the best way I can. This Sixer team, what did it lack the most? Shooting is one of them. Yeah. But I feel like we don't use Ben Simmons with ultimate potential. Do you remember way back a couple years ago, TJ McConnell would always throw those lobs to Ben Simmons, and Ben Simmons would finish at the rim? Ben Simmons is a very lethal transition weapon. We don't have anyone to run with him. There are only two players on the Sixers team that can run with Ben Simmons. That is Matisse Thybulle and Tobias Harris. Everyone thinks they'll just put a bunch of shooters around Ben. And that should be saved for an in-depth video on why I don't think that will work. But to surely give a little bit of a hint, is that even with shooters with Ben, it doesn't stop the wall. The wall is this defensive coverage, very basically, where the opposing wingmen sort of hug the perimeter. They help off and close off on the penetrator, Ben, but they don't help too deep so that they can recover and contest the open shot. It's not really open because the guy is running to him. And the wall is effective mainly because Ben Simmons can't stop on a dime. Shoot an open 17-footer or use his dribble to get to the rim and finish. So as long as Ben can't attack off the top, which he shouldn't be in the first place, the wall will continue to be effective, even if you put shooters around him. The Bucks learned that the hard way in the 7-game series with Toronto. It just doesn't work. You need a guard. Eric Bledsoe is the key to the Bucks, and will be the key to their success this year too. If Eric Bledsoe continues to be and isn't really gonna elevate his own game, then the Bucks face a chance of the same disappointment next year, and then Giannis has a free agency decision to make. I just think these 6'8" ball handlers in today's NBA are way more difficult than even Iverson to build around. You need guards who can handle the ball because they're not necessarily, you're not meant as 6'8", 6'9" to dribble a basketball. You're just not. I don't care who you are, even Ben. You're just not meant to do it. And then you need the shooters because they can't shoot. But then you also want a rim protector at the 5 because, we see Ben Simmons at the 5 in some spots and you see you can't protect the rim. So, it's great. He could screen and roll. He could do those same things at the 4. But at the 5, you can't protect the rim. So the Hawks could penetrate on you all day because he got a 6'10" dude who can't jump. He's not a 5, he's a 4. So it's really, Jason Kidd tried to do it for the first 2.5 years with the Bucks. Then they realized he's a 4-man. There's nothing wrong with it. They're just too big for the guard position. When they say it's positionless basketball, that's not true. If you're 6'9", 6'8", 6'10", you're 4. Okay? You're just a 4-man. And Lamar Odom. Where did Lamar Odom play for the majority of his career? The Clippers fought to with the point guard. That didn't work. The Clippers with Lamar Odom wasn't that great. Miami, Lamar Odom played at the 4. Where did he play with the Lakers on the Phil Jackson? Some 3, some 4. If you're a forward side, you're a forward. Just admit it and just be okay with that. Rather than trying to envision the next Magic Johnson. There will sooner be another Michael Jordan than there will be a Magic Johnson. That is to say, for a big guard to develop perimeter skills is harder than for an all-around scorer to develop his game to the highest level. We will sooner see a new elite dynamic wingman who can score all over the court than we will a 6'9" guy who can shoot over the top and handle the ball. It's just not going to happen. Well, actually, it did happen, Luka Doncic, but then defensive concerns. But he's still one of the most special players in the league. Just like we're saying, there's not going to be another Michael, another Magic. There may not be another Luka Doncic. So there's that. But for me, the Sixers need to draft athletes in the draft. That's my main problem with shooters, with 3-and-D guys. They're not athletic. And by athletic, I don't just randomly mean a dunk. I mean, can you put the ball on the floor and finish? Can you finish on the contact? NBA athleticism is a big thing for an NBA team. If you take a look, Anthony Davis has the center of gravity because he's athletic. The Sixers need another athlete besides Tobias Harris in the starting lineup. They need to be able to pressure the ball, bench him in the transition, and got 2 outlet flyers who can each attack the rim or catch the ball and dribble post threat. You don't have that other than Tobias, and Tobias isn't even that great at it. So for me, the Sixers' number one need is a guard wing who can attack off the dribble, make plays, and finish at the rim, even a dunk. Josh Richardson, he can do that a little, but he's inconsistent, and Josh Richardson's b-ball IQ isn't all that great. I personally think that Josh Richardson is probably better for his career coming off the bench, but he sees himself more as a starter. So the Sixers are going to have to do some things in the draft this year. But really what I would like to see personally as a fan, I want us to get more athletic than we are. So that Ben Simmons can have a lot of effect. Imagine Andre Iguodala. Let's simplify it. Andre Iguodala. Prime Andre Iguodala near Ben Simmons. It would just be an instant threat. And I'll just put a caveat there so people know. I was the dude who on VOGM was called Dedicated Sixer Fan. I was on Liberty Ballers and others as well. Those who know me would know that I had an Andre Iguodala sort of bias in the past. The reason for that was that at the time, with the salary cap being what it was, he was one of our highest paid Sixers. He then goes to Denver and Golden State, and then he revitalizes his career, what he always should have been. A 6-man type of role player-ish type of starter who you don't ask to be a number one. So I will admit, in hindsight, I was unfair to Andre Iguodala. The wrath that I put on Andre Iguodala should have been put on Billy King. I will admit that I was wrong on that. And I would love to have that kind of role player-ish guy on the Sixers. The problem is, because such players can I'm still disbelief. You can't pay those guys high-value contracts. Like with Al Horford. Oh, he averaged 15 and 8 the last 5-6 games. 15 and 8 is an average starting forward to me. You should rebound and you should put at least 13 points on the board if you're going to be starter making over $15 million. An average starter should not be making above average dollar money. If you're at that point, that's bad cap management. And as we see, just like during those years too, when you have bad contracts, it limits what you can do. So we talk about Zach LaVine, we talk about Buddy Hield, and then we acknowledge that Al Horford has one of the worst contracts in the league, and it might not be movable for the wing guard that we want. And so that limits us. So for me personally, I feel like NBA general managers and owners don't appreciate the cap enough to where it's like, oh, he's been here, let's give him a fat contract. Yeah, but that's going to hurt your salary allocation. And that's going to put you in a situation where he has to actually perform to a salary that he never could perform at. That's where Al Horford is this year. Al Horford is that dude. Should I be blaming more Jocelyn Hibbs on the brand and the management? Yeah, I do. We acknowledge it. Not only the overpay, he doesn't fit. He's playing a W solid role when in fact Al Horford throughout his career was a rim runner. He was a guy who could pick a pop. And because you don't run it, the Sixers average over 1 point per shot. Point per shot is the statistic that you use, and it's a statistic I believe in. Anyone who knows me knows that I wasn't the greatest fan of analytics, but point per shot is something that I do adhere by, and 1.01 is good. You want to average a point or more on your possessions. Generally speaking, averaging a point a shot is good. The Sixers average a point a shot on screens. They run only 4% of the time. It's absurd. You got Ben Simmons, a lethal screen and roll man. Al Horford, we all saw in Boston, right? His moving screens that rarely, if ever, get called. You know, he set that one for Court Miles in the game winner against Portland. Joel Embiid is a very good screener. He was one of the top centers and screeners since the last 2 years. You got 3 guys who can set good screens. You can set screens for each other. If you're going to put Joel Embiid in triple post position, which I disagree with, but if you're going to do that anyway, get him someone to screen and let Joel match up one-on-one. It'll be a dunk or a foul every time. Instead of having him put the ball on the floor and a lot of people can swarm because they're not helping. Imagine you have Joel Embiid in that triple post threat and Tobias Harris comes to set the pick. You're not going to double off Tobias' man. If you do, he can just kick it out to Tobias for a 3-point shot. Is it going to come from the weak side? Joel's going to see that, and he can skip it over there. Once you create a mismatch, the defense adjusts, and you can adjust to that adjustment. It's basic basketball, and we only do it 4% of the time. 4%! It's nuts. It doesn't make sense. When Brett Brown said bully ball, I'm of the opinion that he thought that bully ball means just a simple post-up possession. No! How about a screen and roll? The big man rolls in the bucket, you can throw it up to him. Joel Embiid averages 70% in the paint. That is, when Joel Embiid is within 8 feet of the rim, he is giving you 70%. The same thing goes for Ben Simmons. If these bigs are elite at finishing at the rim, your job as a coach, as an offense, is to get these bigs near the rim. Why? I just can't stand it. And let's tackle on that. So a couple of days ago, and I mentioned this on the podcast with RB and DJ, my dudes, who really encouraged me to go forward with this, even though I've never been the most confident in my voice on camera. But I mentioned that Brett Brown a couple of days ago, with the whole teleconference with the CSM reporters, he mentioned, I want to get better at defense. So, you want to see if the stats go to your eye test. So I go on NBA.com. And the Sixers are 6th in the league in opponents' points per game. Now, mind you, their defensive stats aren't the same as last year's, but they're still a good defense. I mean, I know I disagree with it. I said that the Sixers ranked 23rd in steals and blocks. There was a different site where I got more in-depth stats. The Sixers are the bottom of the league in steals and blocks, which is absurd. And it's all because Brett Brown was like, he said this in the preseason game after Orlando. We won that game. We won it by over 20. And he was like, no, that's not the way that they'll defend in June. Yeah, they don't have Ben Simmons, Petit, Bible Johnson, Al Horford, Joel Embiid. So yeah, they're not going to defend that way in June. But guess what? You can. You can defend that way, Brett. You have the personnel. this is on offense too. Why do you have to coach, scheme, game plan, and lineup to what everyone else does when you have the deepest, biggest rotation in basketball? It makes no sense. I mean, if I were Eldon, I'd be scratching my head and be like, why did I bother to build this for him? No, seriously, we're not going to screen, even though we average a point per possession with it, only 4% of the time. We're not going to use our bigs inside the mid-range area. We're also not going to pair our big with the 6'6" guard, Shake Milton, that I just signed to a 4-year contract. You have to fire Brett Brown at this point. No, you're not going to win a championship with this guy. He refuses consistently, when the evidence is clear, to put players in a position to succeed. He is our Gabe Kapler. He is our Chip Kelly. Oh, they win 60% of the games. You have Joel Hazenbeed and Ben Simmons. I expect that. Getting to the playoffs for this team at this juncture is no longer an accomplishment. I could go to sleep and this team can make the playoffs. So, I'll just put it like this. We are tied with the Indiana Pacers. The Indiana Pacers, their stars, Victor Oladipo and Malcolm Brogdon, in my mind, they're not top 30 players. Not even top 45. Oladipo has a better case, but Brogdon definitely doesn't. And Sabonis, great energy player, but God, you see? That roster has no business in the world being near Joel, Tobias, Al, Matisse, Shake, Ben. You brought in Brooks and Robinson. The deadline, you legitimately have a 9-10-man rotation of wing depth, shooting, athleticism. And you mismanage it to the extent that you are tied with the Indiana freaking Pacers. That's what gets me upset. This team, on paper, at times when we see them play, their talent individually, and it should be collectively, is much greater than that of the Indiana Pacers. So that's why I'm actually happy that our very first game of this 8-game situation is against the Pacers, who are without Oladipo, who are without Brogdon. That is, this team that was already inferior to you to begin with has just lost what little talent it actually had. If you lose that game, I don't care if they've been laid off for months or not. If you lose that game, it's over. No. What was the process for? What was the process for? The process was to win an NBA championship. Or to at least be in the conversation. Not only are we not in the conversation, we are an afterthought, even though we have a 7'2" franchise center and a 6'10" power forward. We have the best front court in the NBA, we have good guard play, we have decent enough shooting. We're actually 14th ranked collectively in shooting. We're not a bad shooting team, we just don't have that guy that can shoot 40% from three. In fact, you could argue we should shoot more threes, not less. If this team, you were 3-1 over Boston, and Boston somehow has a better record. So it's why I want to stay with the 6 seed. I would rather play Boston than Miami, who has shooters and who has a great coach in Spoelstra. If you can't beat Boston or whoever in the first round, if you can't get past the first round, look, I'm actually going to quote J.J. Redick, because J.J. Redick, he said this before joining the Sixers, and it made complete perfect sense, and it's kind of where we all are right now. The disappointment was the same every year, because the expectation was the same every year, and we still failed. That's where we are. Third year, Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Brett Brown, the coach. This third year, for me, if I were the owner, it's do or die. Either you do it, or I get someone else who can. Because this is absurd. The deepest 10-man roster in the NBA is not equal to the Indiana Pacers. It's just not. Point blank, it's not. I'm sorry. That's the kind of passion you can expect from me. There are going to be clips, there will be analysis to show what I'm seeing in my mind, when I'm playing back in my mind. Because this is just ridiculous. I have high expectations for this team because the roster is damn good. Brett himself said it at the start of the year. Elton Brand did a hell of a job. And it's true. You can have Al Horford back up to 5. You can have him back up to 4. You can spot up minutes. And you can get Al Horford his 25 minutes a night without ruining the lineup. As DJ said, it's called staggering. The reason, so I'll address it. Boj would probably say something like, it's the players and not the coach. It's 60% the coach, 40% the players. Do they have to play harder? Yes. Would I like to see more energy? Yes. But you didn't sign more players. That's not the type of guy who's going to fall on the floor. Joel Embiid was a madman in his rookie year, but we were all concerned about the injuries. Ben Simmons is intense, so did Matisse Thybulle, but really that's about it. So you can't say go after it every game if you get more skilled players than you do hustle players. So that's on the management. But the other thing is that the coach has to substitute properly. I'll get to that. Lineups. This is the thing that I need videotape for rather than saying it off my mind. Because if I say it off my mind, it is anecdotal. I want to show you videotape so that when I show you why that lineup makes no sense or why that lineup lost the lead, it comes from a much more authoritative place. But for right now, I just wanted to show my feeling, my thoughts, everything, and an introduction. And I hope this resonates to a degree. New and better content is going to be coming out soon. I'm Six of the Universe. Peace out, man.